For 63-year-old Jummai Musa, life has never been the same ever since her husband Musa and son Amos were killed right before her eyes by gunmen believed to be members of Boko Haram terrorism group on 27th of March 2014. Soon after, series of raiding and killings were carried out by the insurgents in their village and neighboring communities, forcing Jummai Musa alongside her last son and 5 grandchildren to flee to a nearby village to take refuge until the hostilities subsided before she returned to her home. When my husband was alive, life was easier. His work as a farmer and pastor was enough to put food on our table and support our last son in school. But all that changed after he was killed the same day with our 34-year-old son, Amos, leaving behind his widowed wife and 5 children. Like Jummai Musa, hundreds of displaced widows are living in disarray on IDP camps, with no homes to go back to or any means of livelihood to cater for themselves and their children after losing everything to the insurgency. This situation has forced many widows to resort to various means of survival, especially those worst affected by the insurgency. The number has continued to increase as a result of communal clashes and agitations in some quarters. Here at the IDP camp in Fufore local government area of Adamawa State, the story of widows is pathetic as they have nothing to fall back on, with many of them having dependents to cater for. As at the time of this visit, NTA News gathered that most of the widows have gone outside the camp to seek for manual jobs, such as working on people's farmlands to earn money to support themselves and their dependents. Fadi Amadou, a widow and mother of 6, 5 of them and her husband lost to the insurgency, and Haisha Ibrahim, a mother of 4 children from Goza and Banki of Borno State respectively, say they have lived at the IDP camp for over 2 years. They lamented over the hardship they go through, saying unlike the initial stage of their arrival when their needs were being catered for, it has been over 6 months now they have not received any item from the camp officials. Back at home, I used to make men caps and sell, but now I have no capital to start doing something for myself. When they attacked our community, I, my husband and 5 children fled different directions, and it has been 4 years I have not heard from them. Apart from the corn flour they provide us with, we work on people's farmlands to get money for soup ingredients. The President, Adamawa Widows Council, Hilda Makanto, who lamented over the alarming increase in the population of widows, especially during the peak of insurgency, says their number has increased drastically, even though the council is yet to capture most of the widows that were displaced. She highlighted efforts of the council aimed at minimizing the hardship of the widows of insurgency, to include selecting 40 orphans each from 5 affected districts of the state and addressing the trauma they have passed through by giving them a sense of belonging through various programs.
The situation of widows needs to be addressed, because if you address the widow, especially those that are widowed during the insurgency, you are doing a lot, healing the wounds, giving her some comfort, helping her to come out of her trauma, and then giving her some economic hope as you give her that care. So we are impressing on the government to do that.
The State Public Relations Officer, Federation of International Female Lawyers, Foniso Gabriel Akwamasi, speaks on the guided principles provided by United Nations Human Rights for member states to support the vulnerable in the society. She says the need for governments to integrate the widows affected by crisis is critical, adding that social reconstruction is a priority often neglected and should be addressed through mechanisms that will protect widows' rights.
But they have made specific provisions for a particular category of people that need extra attention from their government. And amongst this group is the unaccompanied children, the elderly, female heads of household. Basically, this is where the widows come in, because automatically when the man leaves, there's no more. It becomes the woman's responsibility to become the head of the household. And yes, to that extent, we have specific laws that are meant to address these issues. These are principles that are meant to be codified by the local unit, the component unit, Nigeria being a member too.
Aside philanthropic gesture from NGOs and meaningful individuals, the wife of the Adamawa State Governor, Maryam Muhammadu Jibrila, in one of her programs, has championed the cause of widows and orphans in the society. Have these acts of magnanimity extended to especially widows of insurgency living at IDP camps? The Director of Women Affairs, Ministry of Women Affairs, Anna Alahira, has this to say.
It's not only UNFPA that are doing empowerment program for these women. There are other donor agencies that are doing. So the assistance, not all of them that can be assisted at the same time. The training, we are doing it in batches. If we train, after graduation, we take other seats. By doing that, that is why we reach this number of 476. These women that are affected by Boko Haram, most of them are widows.
Considering the numerous challenges some of the insurgency-affected widows pass through, it is heart-touching to note that most times only a few NGOs evolve to ensure these women survive in their situations. They are downtrodden without a voice.
The widows are suffering, and there's no much attention given to them. Earlier there was attention, but maybe because of the time lack, the attention is no more again. And definitely they need government attention, not only government per se, and all other well-meaning individuals in the country and organizations. Because by the time you allow such kind of people who have been traumatized without any care, without concern, definitely we are breeding something different again. If you look at the causes of the insurgents, I believe neglect is part of it, and we are repeating same neglect with those who have been affected by neglect.
They are widows. We know that their problems will be double what a normal IDP should have. They don't have a husband to cater for their children. So I believe when the government are trying to help other IDPs, more attention should be given to widows. Like in skill acquisition, like in rationing of their daily food.
By being affected with this kind of situation, if the government didn't intervene immediately, they start thinking here and there. Psychologically, they may be affected. It wasn't their situations. And moreover, that phobia of what makes them to leave their place of origin is there already. When you give somebody something which he should do to fend for himself, is better than this donation. It's just like giving somebody employment. If he comes to you today, you give him 5 naira, tomorrow he comes, you give him 10 naira. When you employ him, you give him employment, you'll be earning his living through his salaries.
Observers therefore called for comprehensive provision and implementation of widowhood rights in the Nigerian Constitution, especially on inheritance, and the need for government to provide more proactive economic empowerment to the widows. In Yola, Godiya Daniel, NTA News.